Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Robert Show. Super excited to be back and super excited to today because we are diving into a challenge that many enterprises are quietly wrestling with how to modernize their data strategy without losing the stability and reliability of their mainframes. Joining me is Tomar, manager of BMC AMI Cloud Product Management Team and offering built to bridge traditional mainframes with today's cloud first AI driven enterprise needs. Obviously, we'll be exploring what's holding companies back from modernizing, how to secure legacy systems from rising cyber threats, and how to unlock trapped data for analytics and compliance. So let's jump in. Let's welcome Tomar. Tomar, welcome to the Robert Show. It's your debut. I'm super excited to chat with you today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Tomar, just for our audience, would you like to quickly give a quick intro about yourself and what do you do at BMC?
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone. My name is Tomer Zelberzviq. I am the manager of the BMC AMI Cloud Product Management team. I've been part of BMC for the last 2 years or so.
Yeah,
Joined BMC as part of the Model 9 acquisition that happened 2 years ago. I have about 2 decades of mainframe background in my bio, both as a
nice.
vendor and as a customer as well. So I know my way around both the two sides of the area.
That's awesome, man. That is pretty interesting in terms of having an experience from the enterprise world and then also from the solution centric world where you are right now. Quick, obviously, first of all, wanted to share a little bit of stats from back then, 2022. Deloitte, one of the Deloitte surveys I remember said that 60 to 70% of the corporations relying on mainframes face substantial difficulties in modernization efforts, particularly with integration and agility. Tomar, what do you think? And is that something only we are hearing a lot about data modernization? And what are the top challenges that customers face with data modernization? Is a topic that you've been hearing a lot as well. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So data modernization, especially in the mainframe space, is something that's been discussed for a long time. I think in the last 10 years or so. People are always trying to change what they're doing and adapt to what the new technology and basically what the cloud now offers. And that's where the mainframe kind of stays behind
Right.
with the technology. And it's kind of, I want to say, it's very complex. Like it takes years to learn. Um, Colleges are not educating. Something happened to my mic. So organizations can actually, they're looking for ways to simplify their doing their data management. It's very complex to do so. Um, Basically, I want to say banks, enterprises, and
Mhm.
those big organizations making any sort of change is really hard. And the challenges that they're facing is the lack of resources I just mentioned a minute ago. No new mainframe employees are educated out of college, and finding new people to actually learn the platform is a
Mhm.
main challenge there. So you need to simplify the way for organizations to do this data management piece. Doing it for the last 40 years or so the same way is not making any change. Basically,
Right.
your data kind of gets stuck for the last 40 years or so because the the platform did not change. It's been
True.
doing it specifically with the mainframe, writing data siloed in tapes, and you can't really do anything with it. Another thing is the fact that this platform, the secondary storage that the platform uses is tape based. So
Mhm.
it's mostly not physical tape anymore. Actually, it's logical tape, and they're really like on a regular storage. But from a management perspective, it's just still tape. So the data
True.
is getting written to tape and is siloed, and you can't do anything to modernize it. So imagine you have petabytes worth of data written to tape, locked away somewhere in a box or in a rack in your data center, and you can't do anything without it, and you can't do anything with it. Sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's where Amy Cloud comes about with our disruptive technology.
Mm-hmm.
When we came about, we tried to first simplify the way that mainframe organizations do their data management. We
True.
introduced object storage, which was taboo in the mainframe world. Nobody knew about it. They still, up until today, think it's new. But object storage has been here for the last 30 years or so, something like that.
Mm,
It's not new, but still it's growing and it's been used by, I think, all the cloud services, data lakes, analytics, everything, every solution out there uses object storage. So why not the mainframe?
true.
Um, and we just introduced about 6 months ago a new capabilities that will modernize further what customers can do with data management. So we introduced cloud datasets as part of Amy Cloud Data, uh,
That's
which
nice.
allows which allows customers to actually replace tape infrastructure altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 years in the business, there has been only VTLs, and now there is an alternative. Customers can leverage cloud object storage and write their data to cloud object storage and essentially modernize the way that they're doing their data management with newer technology that's been adopted by all the size of the organization. So it's the cloud, it's the distributed world, and now the mainframe can play with the same tools. And essentially, now that the data is written to cloud object storage, endless possibilities, you can reuse the data. It's not locked away anymore.
Yeah. No.
And I think with that said, I do want you mentioned the um, cybersecurity and cyber resiliency. Object storage is very resilient, and also object storage is a technology that allows customer also to create immutable copies of their data. It's very
Mm,
important to understand. Customers sometimes miss that. They think that once you write your data to cloud object storage, essentially you lose control of it, and that's not true. That's a misperception.
yeah. Tomar, these are fantastic insights. And, when we kind of hear about data modernization, it kind of, obviously there could be a lot of challenges. And you mentioned about a few which kind of, were definitely extraordinary challenges for all the enterprises out there and the leaders as well. But I see you mentioned about the cloud data sets, which kind of is definitely a disruptive, tech that y'all have kind of come up with. But at the same time, you spoke some important and fantastic points around the tape and the virtual tape libraries and how it all kind of works. So thanks for sharing that. One more thing that I've been kind of thinking about, since you've also mentioned about cyber security and the cyber attacks and the resiliency. There was a report research that said 30% over year increase in the cyber attacks per organization in maybe the Q2 of 2024. What's your thought process when it kind of comes to data protection with cyber attacks like ransomware increasing? What are the security challenges that customers are also facing, and how are you all kind of putting um, the solutions in place for them?
So actually, we talked about this last time in the mainframe conference at Share in DC,
Mm-hmm.
about 4 months ago, back in February.
Yeah,
So it was also almost 6 months ago. Sorry.
for 6 months.
Um, yes. So it was back in at the end of February.
Yeah.
Um, so in what we were saying on that session is basically it's not a question of if you'll get hacked. It's a question of when. You need to
Hmm.
be prepared. You need to have a plan. You need to have a solution that suits your business needs. You need to find a way to protect your data, but not just your data. You need to protect your environments and to take proactive approach to protect your environment.
Hmm.
So specifically with BMC Cloud, we have a solution called BMC Cloud Vault, which actually allows customers to take an additional copy of your data to a different technology other than taking a snapshot, which is disk based, or a tape backup, which essentially could get hacked. I can find numerous ways to actually tell you how this could happen. Um,
Right.
but if you create another copy of your data which is off-prem in an immutable technology with cloud object storage, for example, you can lock away a backup that you can recover from. Essentially, if something happens to your site and you have no other backup, like today you can only back up to, as I mentioned, to snapshot and tape. Those can be compromised rather easily than I think organizations think about. So imagine if your disk controller got hacked and somebody got access to it while they're hacking your mainframe, you can lose your snapshot and you can lose your primary data, and you're not protected.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
and same goes for tape. Like if you got hacked and the mainframe got hacked, and you need to recover from tape, your tape management software is running on the mainframe. If that database of the tape management software got hacked, you don't have any way to recover. What
Yeah.
we offer is just copy your data, create an additional copy without changing anything
Mm-hmm.
with your existing data management solution. Take an additional copy, write it to an immutable bucket, and in case you need it, it's there, it's protected. We don't have an internal database. We keep the metadata close to the data. So
Nice.
everything is immutable. And in case you need to recover, you just recover when you need to. Just bring up a mainframe that has a network connectivity and a disk space and just recover. And
Mm-hmm.
essentially, you can do it anywhere. Just again,
Nice.
mainframe network disk, and that's it. No need for tape setup and all that complexity.
Yeah, no, I think Tomar, this is a fantastic way to just make sure where the customers are not facing issues when there's an attack or ransomware that kind of obviously attack has been kind of happened, and these are fantastic insights. Another big topic that I wanted to discuss, and we hear a lot about this challenges of meeting new regularity across the requirements of data. Based on your experience, what are the major challenges there in terms of the regulatory requirements?
Yeah, so especially this is in Europe now. DORA
Yeah.
went into effect back in January 25, so that's about 8 months ago, and that made a big change. Like organization, especially it's enterprise organizations that are doing business in the EU. They
Yep.
need to meet with strict regulatory requirements. They need to have a better strategy for recovering data, for protecting their organization, essentially, not just the data, but everything. They need to have
Mm,
a proper plan to recover. They need to show that they can do it, not just, have a backup and you say, yeah, I have a backup. It locks away somewhere. I can recover. They need to show it that they can recover, and they need to do it with ease, and they need to do it rapidly. They can't
yeah.
say, yeah, it will take me 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah.
That's just not it doesn't work that way anymore.
Not gonna work.
Maybe in the 90s, but now every hour that a bank is down, it's
Yeah.
hundreds of millions, and that's not me counting the fines that they would get from the regulatory,
Yeah.
the DORA regulation.
Yeah. No, I think that is such an important point that you mentioned. And just on this topic itself, what we've been kind of seeing, the current estimates indicate that over 60% of mainframe data is not accessible by the business for AI and analytics, due to obviously the private data, the proprietary files, formats, and storage systems. Um, can we talk a little bit about the business data and storage that is not available for use with AI and analytics, to help drive smarter business decisions? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so I mentioned this briefly before that the data journey for data management solution up until today was basically to write data to tape. You did have ETL solutions that allows you to harness some of the data, but a very small portion of data, and load it into data lakes or data warehouses. But again, this is like a very legacy process
Mm,
that only allows you to create very small portion, copy small portion of your data to those external sources or external
right.
targets. Sorry, um, but you cannot really do a lot with it. Like you only get very small portions, so you cannot really make any business insight out of it. Also, if you want to take more data, that that will cost you with resources. Like you need more CPU, you need more memory, and that's very costly, especially on the mainframe, where every unit is counted. Like every CPU unit is counted very much, especially for software. So you pay all the software vendors and to IBM for that increase,
Yep.
and all the data that went to tape is locked. It's siloed. It can be used. It's just there. It's useless. It's basically I want to call it like a paper. What you call it? I forgot the word. Um, where you put a thing on a paper. Sorry. Anyways, um, what we're offering with cloud object storage now, imagine you're writing your backups. You can do
Mm-hmm.
something with them. Like the data journey does not end at the tape. It goes to object storage. So why not
True.
do anything with it? That's where Amy Cloud Analytics came about. We saw a need from the field. Like customers were telling us, can I do something with the data now that it's in the object storage? And
Yep.
then, we saw that there is a need in the field. We saw, okay, the data is now accessible. Let's open and bridge the gap between the mainframe formats to the open
Right.
system formats. So as you know, mainframe formats is mainly EBCDIC oriented. So that's like a different code page. And you need to bridge that gap and then turn it to ASCII, to UTF-8. And you need to infuse the schema that the data is actually describing, because you want to take the data files. You don't want just to take, the flat files that are just, outputs of something. You want to take the actual data, which is a DB2 image copy, which is a DB2 backup essentially. You want to take a data file from the mainframe that is actually like a database of such sort, and it's a
Yep.
data file, and every data file has a schema that defines it. So imagine now that you are writing this data file to the cloud, and you want to harness something from it. You want to learn something from it. You can infuse this data and load it into a data lake and run analytics on it. You can teach LLMs, infuse LLMs with more mainframe data that was locked away up until now.
Yep.
Imagine banks can learn trends on mortgages, which is something that they could not do up until today.
Right. No, I think, Tomar, you kind of mentioned about some very interesting points here, and thanks for sharing that. Also, data to object storage is a huge thing that you'll have kind of come into the, you'll have kind of, done for the space itself and for the mainframe space. So that's awesome. I know we are almost coming to an end to the conversation, but just before we, obviously wrap this up, I have a quick question. I ask this to all my guests. If folks want to reach out to you and also learn about all the things that you all have been doing in this space, which is the best place to reach out socially? Where can they reach out? But also, I know BMC kind of puts a lot of content for the audience out there. So, where can they visit? Which website, and where can they learn more about different things?
Yeah, so definitely through the BMC website. We have a website for all the BMC AMI Cloud products, but not just BMC AMI Cloud, but all the BMC AMI products. We
Yep.
have a vast variety of products for multiple use cases. I'm
Nice.
available through social media, so LinkedIn. I'm available if anyone want to ask any more questions. Feel free to reach out, DM
Amazing.
me.
So everyone knows where they can reach out. But Tomar, once again, thanks for visiting the Rabbit Show, sharing all the great insights. And for those who are watching us live and who've joined the session, thanks for joining us. That's a wrap on today's conversation. Definitely modernizing data management isn't about replacing what works, it's about extending its value. That's what I've been learning from your the conversation here. As Tomar shared, with the right approach, mainframe data can become an active part of your cloud AI analytics strategies, without the risk of or the rework that you have to do. Thanks to Tomar and the BMC team for sharing their insights here today. And also, if this resonated with you and your team, if you're navigating with similar sort of challenges, make sure to deep dive into what AMI Cloud has to offer. But catch you all in the next episode. And Tomar, thanks once again. Definitely looking forward to learning more from the BMC team very soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.